oh my days. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. There's a lot of mad news that's been circulating around left, right, and center. And another day where we realize how much of a mess Chelsea Football Club is in. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Financial crisis. This is why I've not been beating around the bush in recent times. I've not been sugarcoating nothing because we are in big trouble. And next season, it's only probably going to get worse. Chelsea's pre-tax loss in the past 12 months is 90.1 million. The previous year was 121.4 million. Look, as you know, the financial fair play rules and regulation, the sustainability rules, I think in the Premier League, 3 years in a row, consecutive 3 years in a row, you can accumulate up to 105 million loss. What's 90 plus 121 million? Don't worry. If you haven't done the maths, don't worry. Eunice has already done the maths for you. There we are. This means that to adhere with financial fair play and be safe next season, Chelsea must generate a profit of 106.4 million at the minimum by June, July. That's this particular year, to comply with the maximum allowed 105 million loss over a 3-year period. If not, we're getting points deducted like Everton. It's simple. It's very clear for all of us to see, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I've not been entertaining any conversations about managers. I've not been, entertaining any conversations about bringing some big players to our football club. We're in trouble. You best believe we're not going to get a manager that has a release clause. This is why I've sort of reserved to the factor that most likely Pochettino will stick around next season. Getting rid of Poch at the end of this season, you still need to pay him out for the remaining 1-year contract. It's maybe an unnecessary, cost. That's how it might be looked at by the owners. Someone like Victor Osimhen, I've said it, a release clause of more than £100 million. It ain't going to happen. And then the wages. There's some conversations that even Nico Williams is demanding a lot of wages as well. And that may not happen. This is why we look forward to links to John Duran from Aston Villa. Cheap, low wages. You best believe players like Gallagher, now don't even call me a hater anymore. Don't even dare to call me a hater anymore. It's going to happen. The club will need to sell a lot of players. And pure profit players from the academy are the juiciest options at the moment. Your Conor Gallaghers, your Ian Martins, your Trevor Chalobahs, and many more. Don't even be surprised if Alfie Gilchrist is thrown into the transfer market. Bottom line, we have to make 106.4 million in profit just so that we can stay inside that 105 million over 3 years consecutive losses in accumulation. So any unnecessary expenditure, it ain't going to happen. And this needs to be balanced by June, July this particular year. We're already in March. As soon as the season ends, you better believe the club will do their level best to balance up the books as quickly as possible. Maybe next season, perhaps they may try and splash some money here and there when the next summer comes around. But before June, July, there will be a whole heap of cutting costs. There's no two ways about it. Or else the club is going to incur points deduction, unless that's what Chelsea are probably okay to take for next season. I don't think we can even afford to get points deducted next season because we're not showing any form of development. We're not showing any form of progress that, we can afford to take points deduction because we're a supreme team. It doesn't matter. We're going to get 80, 90 points next season. Okay, we get minus 10 points. So what? No. If we get somewhere around where we are right now, I think 36 points or 35 points minus another 10, 25, you're looking at relegation. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I cannot entertain unrealistic situations. We can sit here and get that dopamine hit of, Osimhen is coming and this, that, the other. No, And check this out. David Owenstein has said that Osimhen to Chelsea is very unlikely in a question about Nico Williams. And it seems like even Nico Williams is very unlikely. Check this out. David Owenstein. He's a player at Chelsea and a number of other Premier League clubs like and have been looking at for a while. I think the size of his salary could be problematic, and therefore I would class Williams to Chelsea as unlikely at the moment. Even Nico Williams is looking for more wages. I don't even know how much wages he's on at Atletico Bilbao, being a 21-year-old. But let's see, January showed that the period of Premier League clubs paying massive transfer fees and salaries may well be slowing down, largely because of PSR. Chelsea, like many clubs, are tight on PSR. I think that's got to be sustainability rules, Premier League sustainability rules, and therefore we need to cut their cloth accordingly. Today's financial results showed that, but everything I hear suggests they fully expect to remain compliant and will do what it takes to ensure that. There you go. Chelsea will need to comply, and of course they'll do anything to make sure they comply. If that means keep Pochettino, keep Pochettino. If that means sell all of these academy players, sell them. If that means, your favorite Conor Gallagher needs to be sold, well, he's going to be sold. And many more. It means that when we hear talks of someone like Osimhen being signed this summer, I think that is very unlikely owing to the transfer fee and salary. This is why I'm not entertaining Osimhen. As much as I like Osimhen, it's highly unrealistic. Highly unrealistic. Even Ivan Toney. Highly unrealistic. I know Tony doesn't even want to come to Chelsea Football Club, but as I said, 3 criteria need to be met. This is how we need to think. You need to be young, you need to have very low transfer fee, and your wages have got to be bare minimum. So you've got to be earning someone like right now 10K per week or something maximum, and then you come to Chelsea Football Club and you can earn about 50K or something. Max, we can offer maybe 100K. You best believe there's no way we're going to trigger release clauses of 100 million plus. Gyökeres is another one. Forget about it. The release clause is too much. We'll be looking at release clauses in and around the 40 million mark with low wages. So yeah, and the whole thing about managers, or some of these managers that we're linked with, Ruben Amorim, 30 million release clause, euros, I believe. I think Roberto De Zerbi also has a 13 or 15 million release clause. It's not going to happen. It's not. And then the other factor, Roberto De Zerbi, look, as much as I like him, wow, they got absolutely blamed by Roma. The only thing that I get really, really annoyed about Roberto De Zerbi's football is he's stubborn. He really is. It's his way or no way. He can clearly see his philosophy when it comes to defending 1v1 with some of these Brighton players. It's just impossible. When you don't have that powerhouse in midfielders, or they used to have Caicedo last season, they don't have that level of a midfielder right now. They're getting blown apart. But it's his way or no way, and sometimes the results could look really, really poor. And that's what's been shown. There's no pragmatism with Roberto De Zerbi. But that aside, I think there's some rumors going around that he's not even interested. There's a release clause as well. Ruben Amorim has a release clause as well. Any manager with a release clause, forget it. Absolutely forget it. Now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. So all of that in regards to financial crisis, let me know in the comment section what you think. More injuries. The injury list keeps continuing to grow. We saw back in December 2022 when Iqbali commented, the thread that I showed from Ben Jacobs not that long, my video, I think it was yesterday. Iqbali was saying that data will help us prevent injuries. What is it preventing? What data are you looking at that is preventing any injuries? It's not preventing nothing. Players are getting injured even more. Check this out. This is the new list. Kani Chukwuemeka was always there. This guy, he's another one of these Reece James situations, just always injured. Benoit Badiashile has also become one of those players, just always injured. Ben Chilwell, ladies and gentlemen, undergoing specialist medical assessment. He's now injured. Levi Colwell, beginning rehabilitation program. He's injured. Conor Gallagher absent due to illness. Do we have a team against Newcastle? We better do something. Because Mr. Pochettino has come out in the press conference already lining up all the excuses. His preparation for excuses are top notch. Pochettino prepares for excuses. His preparation for excuses is brilliant. If only he prepared like this for matches, maybe we could have had a chance of getting some more wins. Pochettino has already lined up the excuses post-Newcastle match. God knows how we're going to, what team's going to be filled out against Newcastle. I don't even know who's going to be our left back. I don't know who's going to be part of our CBs. I think Silva is back, so maybe that might be an option. Don't forget players like Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. They've been playing a lot of minutes as well. Thomas Tuchel has never ruled out a return to Chelsea. He still has the club in his sights. His greatest short-term desire is to return to the Premier League. He doesn't see his project there as complete yet. There's talks about how he's interested with Man United as well. Look, I mean, if this is true, it's coming from Plettigol, Florian Plettenberg. He's well clued when it comes to German news. And it all could be also the fact that, you know, Thomas Tuchel won't have a job at the end of the season. And it's another one of those ones where it's easy to link the two together with history with Chelsea Football Club as well, with Thomas Tuchel. Look, I can't see it happening. It's great to know that Thomas Tuchel would like to come back. I wouldn't mind having him back, if I'm being absolutely honest. He will never have us at 11th or 12th or whatever, right? But I can't see the owners turning back. Especially Iqbali. Iqbali runs the show. Iqbali controls 60% of Chelsea Football Club. His shareholdings is 60%. Iqbali will not turn around and just say, oh, yeah, Thomas Tuchel could come waltz back into Chelsea Football Club. No problems. It's just not going to happen. It's understood if Chelsea make a change of manager, they will move in a different direction. Zerbi also is not thought to be looking at a potential Chelsea move as priority. So apparently Zerbi is not keen. Hansi Flick and Julen Lopetegui could be looked at, and even Eddie Howe. So the list, look, this is why I'm not excited. No one knows who's getting targeted. The only thing I can say is that the way we've set up our football club right now with so many Brighton personnel, it kind of feels like it's tailor-made for Zerbi because he's worked with all of these people, right? But apparently Zerbi is not someone that we're looking at. We're looking at Hansi Flick. I don't mind. Julen Lopetegui, yeah, I'm not really sure about him. I mean, he's okay, but another one of those ones that just doesn't get me excited. Eddie Howe is a good manager, but once again, you know, is he long-term going to embed a particular philosophy with us? I don't think so. And as I said, overall, I don't think Poch is going to get sacked. You know, Poch is not going to get sacked. Poch will be here next season. That's my inkling. But some of these names, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, now, honestly, Jose Mourinho, he doesn't seem too bad, does he? Jose Mourinho's name. But apparently, Chelsea Football Club does not want to associate anything with the previous regime. Because the previous regime was a disease, right? You know, they won too many silverware. We don't want to associate with them. Madness, absolute madness. Julian Nagelsmann did not impress in the last interview. He did not buy into the process. Apparently, Julian Nagelsmann did not impress in the last interview. I think it was the other way around, to be honest. Chelsea, please. I'm pretty certain Julian Nagelsmann wasn't impressed with Chelsea's project and where it's headed. And was he wrong? No. We're going to find it very difficult to find a top-range manager because no manager wants to come in this mess and work with under 23 players. It's insane. The audacity of some of these journalists, Ben Jacobs, a mad one, to come out and say Julian Nagelsmann did not impress. Please. It's more like he wasn't impressed with Chelsea. Chelsea aren't working on Gyökeres. They have other names. Look, I think his release clause is something around £86 million. It's not going to happen. I think the wages and the age factor is fine, but the release clause, the transfer fee is way too much. So we can forget about Gyökeres as well. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let's just check through some of the news from PYS's page. Pochettino, maybe if I was a fan, I would have behaved the same as them because Chelsea and we are not matching the expectation. Pochettino says project is delayed because of circumstances. Thank you. Thank you for a lot of excuses, my man. Where's your ability to overachieve? Or do you not have that? Pochettino on too many young players, maybe yes, that could be the issue. 100% that's an issue. Pochettino tells the media he can't do nothing in terms of getting the Chelsea fans to back him. After Wolves, he says, we didn't lose 5 games over 90 minutes, but that isn't the expectation of the fans. Of course it's not. Of course that's not the expectation. You didn't lose 5 games over the 90 minutes. Wow, whoop-de-doo. So it's an achievement that you didn't lose against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup over 90 minutes. Good on you. And there's more. I think Fabrizio Romano saying here, Victor Osimhen considers Chelsea one of the most interesting options to join summer. But honestly, I'm not sure if Chelsea are currently the front runners, but they are in the race. Yeah, look, forget about Victor Osimhen. It's just not going to happen. Let me see if there's any other latest news from PYS before we wrap things up. Lukaku, by the way, absolutely jizzed all over Brighton. Here at Roma, it's different. Here, the fans love me. I'm doing my best at this club. Help me future and CFC loan expiring in June. I have to be careful with those answers. Look, I've seen a lot of people wanting Lukaku back at Chelsea Football Club. I've always said, Lukaku's not a bad striker. If you play to his strength, he'll get you goals. But the bottom line is, he's stuffed up with Chelsea Football Club. He sabotaged Chelsea Football Club. I don't want him back. He doesn't want to come back, so that story is over. But he did jizz all over Brighton, and so did Roma. Chelsea ownership percentages, Igbali and Feliciano, 60%. Bowley, Wiss, and Mark Walter, just over 13%. Bowley has funded his 13% stake in Chelsea with his own personal cash. So you can see why Igbali is hands-on, ladies and gentlemen. This is a major, major reason. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys for a live stream tomorrow. Until then, everyone, take care and see ya.